Okay, so just a couple updates. As soon as I posted that last video, I see the comments regarding the paper. So apparently, what all of the siding experts are telling me is not to run the paper above the base of the window, that it was intentionally left off, although you can see there is paper on the rest of the wall. Why? Because we're in the Northeast. So the difference in temperature from the air inside this attic space versus what's out here most of the time is going to cause condensation in either extreme parts of the season. So what happens is while those air masses mix, right, it creates moisture and condensation. And even though the Tyvek paper is breathable, it's not ideal to have anything on the lumber when you know it's potentially an area that's going to be moist, except, the opposite being true on a roof where we know there's high water areas, right? We want to beef it up with asphalt products like ice and water. Here, we want to make sure that it's breathable. So even though the Tyvek paper or 15-pound roof felt would be breathable when synthetic polymer paper from the roof would not, you still don't want to run that paper from the base of this gable vent up to the ridge because this entire area is moisture prone. And the other thing that I can say, you guys can see we did our best trying to square this out, which it looks beautiful in comparison to what it was. But I very quickly realized why the carpenter had such a nightmare, right? And I was able to get it done regardless. He probably didn't want to take the time to do that. But the reason why is because there's not enough workable space to fit this circular saw in. In other words, there is no way for me to get into this corner. I can get that saw blade to run here, but then the saw's being blocked by here. I could get it to run up to here, but then the saw's being blocked by here. So the corners were rough. You can see I took it a lot higher. Now it's actually the size of the gable vent. And what you do, that gable vent snaps into two pieces. Let me just show you the new PVC one that we're using, instead of this poly one that has a PVC flashing kit. You can see the flashing kit lasted since the home was built because it's PVC. However, the poly, actual vent part of it, there's a good example. You see this? PVC, but this is poly. That'll break. If I were to punch that, it'll break like a Christmas ball because it's so badly deteriorated over 36 years. And once the plastic and the polymers break down in the sun, it just becomes brittle. So today we have a two-piece set, right? And this is the outer grade. And this is what I was explaining to the homeowner, why it wasn't a good idea to try and pull that stuff down without, or to try and replace the vent without pulling everything down, is because we want to be able to get this flashing mounted flat against the wall. You see how that's flat? And then once we get it mounted flat, then those siding panels are going to go over and cover this piece, right? And once all the siding is in, then we can pop in the grate cover. So you can see that this one has all the ventilation built in. And the difference is that the outer piece, which became brittle and broke apart, is now also PVC, not just the flashing. So both of these pieces, the flashing kit and the finishing gate, will deteriorate at the same length of time, and it'll last, they're congruent. The life is the same versus the other one. So let me just get that pop back on now. You can see the way that you do it, right? You just hold this up against the wall and you put a level at the bottom so you can make sure you're straight. Once you get it straight with a level on the ladder, you pin it to the wall with the left hand, and then you take the right hand and you trace the perimeter, right? Once you have the perimeter traced, then your cut is going to be 2 inches inside of the perimeter on either side and top and bottom, so that the perimeter is actually 2 inches short on each side and top and bottom, to account for, the lip of that being able to fit into the hole without the base of the flashing also falling into the hole. So that's all been done perfectly. We just have to get up there now and mount it, and that's what we're going to do. So hang tight, and I will catch back with you guys to show you the finished product once all of the siding is back on.